Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the OACAC Virtual College Fair with Bowling Green State University. My name is Dustin Sabo. Just a few reminders before we get started. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask them via the Q&A option within Zoom here. Your camera and microphone are off, so Sarah at BGSU will not be able to hear or see you, so make sure you are using the Q&A with any questions that you have, and either she or Shannon will be able to answer any of those questions that you might have. If you'd like to sign up for additional sessions, you can do them at the same spot that you signed up for today's. That's at oacac.org. And a recording of this session will be available within a few days after the presentation. And again, that will be at oacac.org as well. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah, and she will have the presentation.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today. My name is Sarah Zachrich. I serve as the Assistant Director of the Office of Admissions here at BGSU. I get the pleasure of spending the next 30 minutes with you all to share a little bit more about Bowling Green. Now, I know that we all have spent a lot of time in Zoom rooms lately. We have spent a lot of time doing things virtually and from afar. And so I would love to use today's presentation to just try to have some fun with it. We've got a really good group here this afternoon. And so instead of me just talking at you, I would love if you all would participate a little bit in my presentation. Now, that being said, I'm not going to call on you. I'm not here to call anyone out. I'm not like, it's a very passive type of participation. So if you all can just take your cell phones here, I'm sure maybe many of you have like played Kahoot or things like that. This is going to be similar. So you can use your cell phone to scan this QR code, or you can type the web address that you see up at the top of the slide there in order to access our presentation today. And so while I go through this presentation, I am going to have some items, some questions for you all. And again, it won't show names, it won't show anything like that. It will simply allow you to enjoy the presentation, interact a little bit more, and for us to get to know you a little bit better today. So I can see down here, we've got 3 folks who have jumped in today. So keep on just scanning that QR code to join. Or of course, you can head to the link right at the top of the screen, and that will allow you to jump in as well. So I'll give it just a couple minutes as folks continue to join and continue to participate with us here today. But definitely looking forward to being able to chat with all of you. We're going to cover a lot throughout this presentation. I always like to say my presentation's kind of in 2 halves. The first half is going to give you that good old BGSU overview. You know, we're going to talk about who we are, our community, living on campus, campus life, all of those great pieces. And then the second half of the presentation, I'll really dig into the nitty-gritty of it all. I will, of course, be able to talk through the application process, timeline, next steps, and the really important piece in terms of cost and scholarships and all of that. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and dive in. The web address will remain at the top of the slide, so keep using that web address to join as well. So first up, let me hear what you're looking forward to learning about today. Feel free to just answer, based on all the options we've provided, what are some exciting things that you are hoping to hear about? Are you looking to hear about majors? Are you looking to hear about, scholarships, honors, all of that? So let's see what we've got here. All right, majors, activities, honors college, okay. Visiting, love that. Campus activities. A lot of academic answers here. This is fun. Okay. Perfect. This is great. Good. Well, like I said, we're of course going to spend this time being able to cover it all. So thank you again for the participation. We'll keep it going throughout the presentation. So first up, let me tell you about our community a little bit. So for anybody who's not familiar, Bowling Green, Ohio, we're located up in Northwest Ohio. We are just about an hour south of Detroit, 2 hours from Cleveland, 2 hours from Columbus, 4 hours either way if you were to go east to Pittsburgh or west to Chicago. That just gives you a little snapshot about where we're located. The nice part about Bowling Green is we're definitely not far from anything. We are, a really strong community over here. You can see that we were voted one of the best college towns. 2 of the factors that went into that or affordability and safety. I think it is so important as you're looking at the college or university that could be the right fit for you, that you not only, of course, look at the campus and look at the college you want, but the community that surrounds that campus. Now, Bowling Green, we are in such great luck to have the community of Bowling Green that surrounds us. You can go downtown to grab pizza with friends, to go to our local coffee shops or local boutiques or restaurants and things like that. That is going to be a part of your college experience, and those are going to be college memories that you make in their own unique way. But at the same time, I of course recognize that at the end of the day, campus is where you spend most of your time. So looking at campus, we're considered to be a mid-sized school. We've got about 16,000 undergraduate students here on our campus. The rest of the population you see up there comes from folks who are pursuing a degree beyond their bachelor's degree, or from folks who participate in our branch campus. Of the incoming class, about 15% comes from out of state. We do have students that come from all 50 states to attend BGSU, and about 20% of the incoming class is of a different cultural background. And we have students that come from 70 different countries to attend Bowling Green. So it's absolutely a very welcoming community and a very diverse community that we have here at BGSU. All right, this is time for you all to chime in. I know many of you were interested in hearing about majors and programs during today's session, so feel free to just type in your response. What are the majors or the academic programs that you're thinking about? What are those areas that you might be considering as you start to look at which college or university could be your right fit? So just go ahead and head back to the slide and just type in any of those majors or programs you're thinking of. I'd love to see what you all are considering so I can make sure to hit on those topics as we continue through the presentation. All right, we've got music education. I like that. Any other majors or programs we're thinking of right now? Okay, medical, business, engineering, psychology, got music again, computer science, okay, business, investments, all right. Okay, also education, of course, that's on there. Communication sciences and disorders. All right. This is good. This is really good. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate the participation here. So at BGSU, we've got quite a few majors and programs. To quickly highlight some of those unique ones, I want to point out, one of the unique programs we have at BGSU are our aviation majors and our aviation program. So we do have a full flight program here at BGSU. One of the nice things about that is we do have our airport and our flight center right on main campus within walking distance of the rest of campus, which is really exciting. I know that, many times folks turn towards the sciences and things like that. One of the unique science areas we have is our forensic science majors that we have. We have a full Bachelor of Science in forensic science for things like biology, chemistry, examination. The Ohio Attorney General built a crime lab on our campus, which absolutely catapulted the work we do with our forensic programs. And then another unique program I just want to take a quick minute to discuss is a little something called our FLY program. So this isn't a major. This isn't something that you declare at BGSU. It's actually for any student who has learning differences who might be joining us on campus at BGSU. We always have our Office of Accessibility Services for any students with learning differences who may need accommodations when they come to campus at BGSU. The FLY program will take things a step further and allow students with learning differences to work one-on-one with a learning specialist here on campus to get even further help and support outside of the classroom and inside of the classroom. And so I just like to make sure folks are aware that we have those opportunities at BGSU. A couple new programs that we have at BG. First up is our Resort and Attraction Management program that runs in conjunction with the Cedar Fair Company. So many of you might be familiar with Cedar Point. They, of course, have many, many amusement parks throughout the U.S. And so this Resort and Attraction Management program is in conjunction with what they do and allows students to get hands-on experience at Cedar Point. And they actually have, we have a facility out there in Sandusky where students take their courses and then get the hands-on internship experience right at Cedar Point. We have software engineering and digital forensics. I know I saw a computer science person pop that interest in there. So these are a couple new areas that we've recently expanded on. We have the oldest computer science program in the state of Ohio, which lets you know we've got a very strong foundation in computer science, and we keep building on that strong foundation. So software engineering and digital forensics are two new specializations that we've added to our computer science flight of majors there. And then I know many of you mentioned business. I am so proud to say that we have a brand new business building on campus that just opened this past August. It's called our Maurer Center, and it is home to our Schmidt-Horst College of Business. So brand new facilities for our business majors to do their learning, exciting classroom spaces, innovative classroom spaces, and some of the best study spaces here on campus, whether it is the terrace up there on the towards the rooftop, or whether it is the time that you're spending in what we call the floating classroom that overlooks the rest of the Maurer Center. You've got some really great spaces when it comes to learning within that College of Business. But at the end of the day, we have over 200 different majors and programs. All of those majors and programs get divided up into our 6 main academic colleges, as you can see listed out there. So there's quite a few different programs that we offer, and a lot of different opportunities to explore, what you want that full major to be in. I know I saw music in there. So for folks pursuing music, there is going to be a virtual audition process for the fall of 2021 for our College of Musical Arts. Once you declare, or put down that you intend to be a music major on your general admissions application, you'll get sent information about the audition process that we have. For general education, I know somebody just put general education on that slide too. We of course have, we were founded as just a school for teachers. So it's, in our roots, it's what we do. We get students in the classroom their very first year, and then your senior year with us, you're really spent not as much on BGSU's campus, but more outside in that classroom setting. So there's just a few different areas. I do want to take a minute here to also mention the Honors College. I know when we first started the presentation, a couple of you mentioned you'd like to hear about our Honors College. Please know that's absolutely an opportunity that we have. Once you apply for regular admission, you can then apply directly to our Honors College. Honors courses are just done a little differently. They are more critical thinking. They're more discussion based, a little less of a teacher lecturing at you and more of that full classroom type of discussion. So if that's a learning environment that sounds interesting to you, it might be something for you to consider. Now, please note the Honors College isn't looking for a super specific GPA or test score or something like that. Their application process is extremely holistic. They will review every word that you write, everything that you put into the essays. They are just looking for students who are curious, who like to learn, who are engaged in the classroom. They're not looking for a certain, again, cookie cutter type of student or anything like that. So again, just know we have that Honors College opportunity. If you want to check out more, their website's really easy. It's just bgsu.edu/honors. You can read more about the Honors College, and you can also get tips and tricks about the Honors College application right on their website as well. And then of course, we also have our Deciding Student program for folks who are maybe still trying to figure out exactly what major is the right fit, or maybe you've got a couple areas that are standing out to you right now. That Deciding Student program is a way for you to work with an advisor, have an office to go to, have all the resources and more as any other student on campus, and they will help you use that flexibility early on in your college search, so that way can home in on what major is the right fit, hopefully not changing your major 3 to 4 times along the way. Okay. And then at the end of the day, whether you go honors, non-honors, whether you declare the major right away, start in the Deciding Student program, whatever it could be, you will of course have a lot of support both inside and outside of the classroom. So you can see, with that average class size, you're going to get to know your fellow classmates. You can see you're going to get to know your professors, and they are going to get to know you. Your professors will always have office hours, times where they're ready and waiting, door is open for you to pop by with questions. So always keep that in mind. When it comes to resources outside of the classroom, we of course also have our Learning Commons. This is the tutoring center on campus. As students, you'll always have access to the tutoring center at no additional cost. What's nice is the tutors are your peers, other undergraduate students who of course were successful in those courses and then wanted to turn around and tutor in them. So know that you'll also be able to get some academic support outside of the classroom in that way as well. All right, let's talk about housing and living on campus. How are you guys feeling about the future possibility of moving out? How are you feeling about, starting that independence? Are you like, yep, I'm ready to go. I have spent plenty of time at home over the course of 2020. Are you like, I don't know yet? And you could very well say, no, like I'm a little scared. I'm a little nervous. That's all okay. Looks like a little mix of both. It can definitely be, it's a lot. It's a lot as you make that transition from high school to college, and we totally get it. So let's talk about that a little bit. So at BGSU, we do have a 2-year residency requirement. That means students have to live on campus for their first 2 years with us. Unless you live within a 50-mile radius, then of course you have the option to commute. For those living on campus with us, we have 10 residence halls as well as 18 different learning communities, okay? So first up, when it comes to those residence halls, please know that if you were to just Google BGSU residence life, you'll be taken right to our housing page. On that housing page, I have a couple resources. I would suggest checking out our hall comparison guide so you can see the differences in our different residence halls and get a snapshot for them. And then I would also suggest checking out the 360-degree virtual tours that we have of all of our residence halls. You can see, those full differences in cost, amenities, styles, setup, and then you can dig in deep and see exactly what the residence halls look on the inside as well. So just keep those resources in mind. Now, when it comes to those learning communities are basically a way for you to live with students who you have something in common with. So for example, there's a learning community for students majoring in business. There's one for students in honors. There's one for students who just like art. That's a couple quick examples. You could also check out that full list while you're looking at the Residence Life website. See all those different learning community options and see if one aligns with what you plan to study or, something that you might be interested in. This can really help ease that transition from high school to college. You might not know anything else about all these strangers we now say that you have to live near, but now you've got that one thing in common. Learning communities come with perks, study groups and travel experiences sometimes. The honors learning community, they typically take a trip to Chicago every year to attend a theater performance, examples of things like that. It'll also provide you with yet another faculty and staff member that you're connected with here on campus as well. So just keep that in mind. And as we're talking about, campus life and integrating to campus, I want to take a minute to address health and wellness too. A couple resources we have on campus when it comes to this. First up, we've got our Falcon Health Center. This is in partnership with our Wood County Hospital. This is a doctor's office on campus. If you need a place to go to, should you get sick while you're with us, if you need a place to pick up prescriptions, all of those are available to you, through that Falcon Health Center. And then on the flip side, we also have a counseling center. At no additional cost, students are able to utilize our counseling center. And so that way you also have the comfort of knowing that you've got that listening ear, you've got that resource to go to. Again, what a lot of you said a mix of both. That's exactly right. There's a lot of feelings of nerves and excitement and unknowns and all of that comes as a part of, again, making that transition from high school to college. This is the first time where you've got to learn a lot of new skills and, step away from home and all of that. And there's no underplaying, the experience that it is. And again, you might need someone to talk to. You might be feeling anxious, or again, you might be feeling overwhelmed while you're with us. And so I think it's so important for students to know they always have open access to that counseling center while they're here with us. All right, let's talk about getting involved a little bit. Let's talk about that aspect. We talked about academics, we talked about where you're gonna lay your head at night. Now let's talk about the clubs and organizations. So what kinds of things are you all hoping to join when you go away to college? It could be anything from, you want to be in the marching band, or maybe you want to do the archery club or the water ski team. When I was a student at BGSU, one of the organizations that I was involved in actually allowed me to ride my bike across the state. I rode my bike from Cincinnati back to Bowling Green to raise money for a children's organization, to raise money for our local children's hospital. And that was something I never thought I'd be able to do when I would go away to college. I was not a biker. I was not, that active cyclist or anything like that. It just sounded cool. The experience was unique. And so my friends and I dug in. And so I'd love to hear what you guys are looking at. Cool. Religious organizations, cross country, service, a cappella, softball. All right. Good variety in here. I love that. Yes, D&D. This is great. Sororities. Okay, cool. Bowling. That's awesome. We wouldn't be Bowling Green if we didn't have a bowling team, right? I mean, that's awesome. All right, let's dig in. So as you can guess, and probably as you've heard time and time again, as you listen to presentations like this for schools of our size, there's always going to be hundreds of ways to get involved, right? And that's absolutely true. That's 100% true. So my message as we look at this slide is just always keep in mind, these are your 4 years. If there are things you love doing, like what you all were just mentioning on that last slide, if there are, hobbies you have, interests you have, things you're currently involved in, keep doing them when you go away to college. This is just because the pond is getting bigger does not mean this is the time where you need to drop all those hobbies and try to find new things and figure it all out from scratch. Absolutely not. You can continue to be involved in those things. But I also challenge you, use these 4 years to try something new as well. Like I said, if you would have told me that I would ride my bike 180 miles, I would have told you you were absolutely crazy. I would have never thought that I'd be able to do such a thing. But I did it. And so again, you'll also be able to use this time to try some new things. So again, with all these organizations, of course, this is your way to get involved with folks related to your major. Religious organizations, active organizations, being in bands, choirs, theater productions. These are opportunities available to all students. Typically every year, we have an event called Campus Fest that allows students to get exposed to all these options. You start to get a feel for what all those different opportunities are and how you want to spend your time. And especially early on, as you start to figure out, how you want to get involved, you might, try your hand at a few different things. You might pop into the initial meetings of a few different organizations, and then you'll really start to figure out like, okay, this is where I fit. These are my people. This is where I belong. And I guarantee you along the way, you will be able to, stand out, make a difference, and make an impact in the things that matter to you. When it comes to athletics, we're of course a Division I school. We have 18 D1 teams here at BGSU. What's nice is as students, you do get sporting events at no additional cost. And I just keep saying, I don't know when the student section of the sporting events will be back up and running, but I know that one day it will be back up and running, and you can certainly be a part of it. If you want to play sports, but maybe not quite at that D1 level, we have club sports. They still travel, they still compete, just not quite at as high of a level. And then we also have intramural sports. That's just friendly competition against fellow students on campus. And then if you're more of a solo athlete, we of course also have our student recreation center that you'll be able to take advantage of. We also have a lot of students who enjoy participating in service learning opportunities. And so if you like community service, if that's something that you're passionate about, you can see there's quite a few other students who are right there alongside you to also be a part of those service learning opportunities. And then we also, of course, offer Greek life. So to give you a quick snapshot, about 10 to 12% of our student body chooses to go Greek. My best way to help you visualize it is this. I bet you have friends that do it. I bet you have friends that don't do it. We won't be a school where you feel pressured to join, but the opportunity is absolutely there. We have a Greek village on our campus where many of the Greek students choose to live during their time with us at BGSU. We have your typical social sororities and fraternities, what you might think of when you think of going Greek. We have co-ed fraternities based around things like leadership, scholarship, more like join a student organization. And then we also have multicultural sororities and fraternities here at BGSU as well. So like I said, just always remember, these are your 4 years. Have fun with it, enjoy it, take advantage. And like I said, it's all about you, which is the most important piece to all of this. All right, there was the first half. There was that general BGSU overview. Just want to continue to encourage you all to continue to utilize that chat. I apologize, I forgot to say this in the get-go. My colleague Shannon Tyler, she works with me in the Office of Admissions at BG. She is here to answer any questions that you pop into that chat. If there's anything I need to address at the end, she'll make sure to tell me, but please don't hesitate to use that Q&A feature. Send any questions you can her way. She's an absolute expert, and we are both here to help as we continue through. Okay, now that we've got the BG overview done, let's dig into the nitty-gritty of it all. So first up, when it comes to being considered for admission to BGSU, the first step is always that online application. Now you can apply to BGSU one of two ways, either through our website at bgsu.edu/apply or through the common application. We have no preference either way. It's all about you and whatever application makes the most sense when it comes to the other schools you might be applying for. Please know we are waiving the application fee through our website all the way until January 15th of your senior year for fall 2021. So just keep that in mind. We do have that as an opportunity. Once you apply to BGSU, we're going to need some credentials. At the very least, we will need your official high school transcript through the end of your junior year. So once you apply, you want to make sure to connect with your high school counselor, make sure that she knows, or they know, I should say, excuse me, to send your transcript our way. And I also always encourage students, tell your counselor how you applied to BG, whether you applied via the Common App or through our website. That can impact how they send your credentials. So just keep that in mind. If you were able to take an ACT or SAT, you'll want to have that test score sent our way as well. However, if you were unable to test due to COVID and you don't have a test score that you want to send us, you can indicate that on your admissions application, and that will let us know to just review you based off of your high school transcript. Okay, so we do have that test waiver option this year. Give us about 2 to 4 weeks once we get your application and the credentials that we need, and you should be receiving an admissions decision from us. One of the admissions decisions that we do have is admission to BGSU through what's called our pathway program. So for students who are maybe falling just below what we'd look to see or we would like to see for admission to BGSU, this pathway program is something that we internally review for here in the Office of Admissions, so that way students can still get started with us here on main campus, but have some extra support and guidance throughout that freshman year. And so just know that there's a lot of opportunities, but of course, hopefully, the admissions decision all circles back to an email and a letter in the mail that says, congrats, you've been admitted, whether that's through the pathway program or whether that's through, regular admission, whatever that could be. Hopefully that's the information that you're getting. So then that way you can start working on your next steps. In that admissions email, in that admissions letter in the mail, you are going to get your official BGSU ID number. You're going to use that BGSU ID number to create what's called your My BGSU account. This My BGSU account is your online portal with us. When you create that account, you're going to simultaneously be creating your BGSU email as well. All right. Now, please know that applying to BG, getting admitted, creating this My BGSU account, none of these things are obligating you to attend BGSU. Absolutely not. We don't have early action. We don't have early decision. Applying and getting admitted, it just lets you know whether or not BGSU is an option. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There's absolutely no pressure. There are no strings attached. The main reason you want to create that My BGSU account as soon as you're admitted is for bullet point number 2 there. Okay. We want you to apply for any and all scholarship opportunities that we have at BGSU, because if we are that right fit, we want to make sure you've hit all the scholarship deadlines and done all the things you need, so that way you can be successful, so that way you can reap those rewards and reap the benefits of having done all that legwork up front, should we be that right fit. Okay, I'm going to talk about scholarships a lot in just a couple slides, so stick with me. One of the other processes that takes place within your My BGSU account is the housing process. Okay, the housing process is, one of those next steps that is, for those who are ready to commit to BGSU. Think of your senior year in 2 halves. Fall semester is application time. You should be applying to colleges, applying for scholarships, and applying for federal aid. Spring semester is deciding time. Where have you been admitted? What scholarships have you gotten? What is that financial aid offer looking like? That's when it'll be deciding time, is spring semester. Okay. And so spring semester, when you're ready to take those next steps, the housing process at BGSU is one of those next steps. It will kick off for admitted students on February 1st of your senior year, when you're able to make that $200 housing payment as that first step in committing to BGSU. That's kind of phase 1. Phase 2 of the housing process is the roommate matching process. We can help you pair up with a future roommate directly through the housing application that is within that My BGSU account. Each year, we also have our BGSU class of Facebook page. So for my seniors in the room, you are part of the BGSU class of 2025. And I know you might be thinking, listen, Sarah, I do not have Facebook anymore. I get it, but it's the best way that we have to allow you to connect with other future Falcons in a secure group, safe space. That way you can post photos, get to know one another. And that's truthfully where a lot of students find their future roommates. So just keep that in mind. The third and final phase of our housing process will kick off late senior year, that May-June timeframe, when you will receive a room selection date and time from our Office of Residence Life. During that date and time is your opportunity to log in and pick your room. You'll see a list of all the halls on campus. You will see what rooms are open, and you simply pick the room you want to live in, like you're picking a seat at a concert. So just keep that in mind. Again, it'll all take place throughout that spring semester of senior year. And then one of the final things you'll do with us is sign up for orientation. We call it SOAR. SOAR stands for Student Orientation, Advising, and Registration. This is an event that will take place throughout the summer before you join us on campus. We will offer a variety of dates. You pick the date that works best for you. The purpose of SOAR is to get you ready for August build time and August move-in. Key players like Residence Life, Bursar, dining, financial aid, they will all be a part of this day. SOAR is also how you get your fall class schedule with us. So you will have a meeting with an academic advisor on campus, and you will schedule those fall courses that will also take place throughout that orientation. And you'll sign up for your orientation date, of course, through that My BGSU account. So you can kind of see how creating that My BGSU account is step one. And from there, then you can apply to scholarships for your right fit. Then you can do housing. And then finally, you'll sign up for SOAR. Let's talk about cost. So of course, here you'll see the cost for both in-state students as well as out-of-state students, just in case any out-of-state folks have joined us here today. And so this will give you that sticker price for an academic year, including tuition fees, standard double room, bronze meal plan. For any out-of-state folks, I always like to mention our BG Success Scholarship. The BG Success Scholarship will take half off of that non-resident fee that you see on the screen, okay? So that non-resident fee is kind of separate from that tuition and fees line item, right? And if you have either 3.0 cumulative high school GPA or a 20 composite ACT or a 1040 composite SAT, you can automatically qualify for that BG Success Scholarship as long as you apply to BG by January 15th. There's 3 important words at the top of the screen. Falcon Tuition Guarantee. This lets you know that the tuition fees, the housing rates, and the meal plan rates that you were given when you first enroll at BGSU, you are locked into those for 4 years with us to help with planning and budgeting and knowing what to expect. But of course, I recognize those are still big costs, and so I want to be able to talk through how to get those costs down. So the big scholarship we do in the Office of Admissions, in addition to that BG Success Scholarship, is our University Freshman Academic Scholarship, and it's great for a few reasons. First, it's automatic. By applying to BGSU by January 15th of your senior year, you are automatically going to be applying to this scholarship. It's purely merit-based. We're reviewing your academic credentials to hopefully award you a scholarship in the range of $1,000 to $8,000. This scholarship is absolutely something you can be reviewed for if you do not have a test score to send our way. We can hopefully review you for a scholarship just based off of your high school transcript. We will do a review of that transcript, okay? Another reason the scholarship is great is that it's renewable for 4 years. Keep up a 3.0 GPA with us on campus and complete 30 credit hours over the course of the academic year. You can renew the scholarship for up to 4 years. Another reason the scholarship is great is that for fall 2021, you actually have all the way until May 1st of your senior year to send any new credentials our way that you would like reviewed or re-reviewed for this scholarship. So that means if your GPA goes up after this first semester of senior year, if you're able to test or retest, we do super score. If we can potentially bump you up in scholarship dollars, you have all the way until May 1st to send us new credentials, and we'll automatically re-review and send you a new scholarship letter if applicable. So the golden ticket, apply to BGSU for admission by January 15th, get credentials to us by May 1, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, like I mentioned, once you're admitted to BGSU, once you make that My BGSU account, I want you to dig into a little something called our Searchable Scholarship Guide. That's within that My BGSU account. The Searchable Scholarship Guide allows you to fill out one general scholarships that are applicable to you. Uh-oh, looks like my that's okay. So anyways, I want you to continue to apply to scholarships that are applicable to you, okay? So this will allow you to be able to continue to get reviewed for further opportunities. So the Searchable Scholarship Guide officially opened for admitted students on October 1st, okay? And so you are able to dig into that Searchable Scholarship Guide. This is where all those random scholarships throughout the university, they get funneled into this one spot. You will fill out that general Searchable Scholarship Guide application, be reviewed for scholarships that are based on your major, active or leadership, volunteer service. Some are need-based. They're all in there. So you want to make sure that you fill out this searchable scholarship guide by January 15th, okay? That's the deadline for all of our incoming freshman scholarship opportunities. So please keep that in mind. So again, you want to apply, get admitted, make that My BGSU account, and fill out that searchable scholarship guide before January 15th of your senior year. Now, the searchable scholarship guide is also great because it is something that you'll fill out not only as an incoming student, but as a current BGSU student. The opportunities change as you change from being a freshman to a sophomore to a junior to a senior with us at BGSU. So the same way you file the FAFSA every year, you want to fill out that searchable scholarship guide every year. Speaking of the FAFSA, you would also want to file the FAFSA by January 15th. That is our priority filing date here at BGSU, so you can be considered for the max amount of aid you are eligible for. As a reminder, the FAFSA is your way to be considered for federal loans, grants, work study, and some scholarships just want to see a FAFSA on file. So keep that in mind. So you will file that FAFSA, input BGSU school code. We receive that information on our end. Our financial aid office will compile your aid offer and send that back out to you. We typically send those out in late February, early March. And that's how you'll know what that out-of-pocket cost to attend BGSU is looking like. All right. And of course, I want to help you all be able to stay connected with us as well. So of course, there's further opportunities above and beyond today's webinar. And so we, of course, are offering virtual opportunities, as you can guess. We've got a lot of virtual events. We have anything from tips and tricks to find that FAFSA if you want some help from our Student Financial Aid Office directly. Scholarship webinars that will dig even further into those scholarships we were talking about today, really talk about unique scholarship opportunities, give you the overview of each one. We've got academic related webinars. You can find those all. But I also want to invite you to visit us in person as well. If you're comfortable and if you're feeling ready, we have safely reopened to visitors here on our campus. And so we are offering tours pretty much Monday through Saturday. So that way students can come visit us, check us out, and experience BGSU in person. As you can guess, we are requiring our guests to wear masks. We are, of course, using physical distancing all throughout the visit and just limiting the number of folks that are coming through our space every day. So the opportunities are limited, but they're absolutely there. And our visit calendar is currently right now open to through December 19th, okay? And if you want to be able to learn more, and if you want to be able to visit us in person, just connect with me. That's my direct email as well as my direct phone number. Please feel free to take a photo of this, reach out to me, let me know what further questions you have. If you're like, yeah, Sarah, visiting sounds good. Can I get that visit calendar link? I can send that your way. So just connect with me. And again, feel free to reach out with any questions, or if you're looking to visit, or if you want to hear about virtual opportunities, we're here to do what's best for you. So that's it. That's my overall BGSU presentation, give you a little snapshot of who we are. Feel free to continue to utilize that chat. If there's any questions that you have, if there's anything else you want to continue to hear about, feel free, again, post questions in that chat. Shannon and I will stick around here for a couple minutes, see if any additional questions come in. But I just truly want to thank you all for taking the time to join us this afternoon. I really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to keeping in touch with all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and pop off video and pop off sound, and that way, in case I can, pop into that chat, answer any questions I can through there. But if there are no questions or anything, of course, like I said, just thanks everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
All right, thanks, Sarah. And while we wait for them to answer any additional questions anyone has, just want to throw out a quick couple of reminders that when you close the window, there'll be a quick 4-question survey. If you wouldn't mind providing your insight into that, we would appreciate that. If you'd like to sign up for additional sessions, you can do so at oacac.org, and a recording of this session will be available at the same website, oacac.org, within about a week. And Sarah and Shannon both will be around to answer any additional questions that you have until about 4:45 p.m. At that point, we'll go ahead and shut down the broadcast. But thanks everyone for attending, and have a great day.